Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I think I'm live on the last day of 2023. If there's anybody, let me know. I'm guessing for people who are like close to midnight or already midnight, right? Who probably are sleeping or celebrating New Year. It would be my honor that you show up on my live stream. It means you don't have better things to do. Okay, so that surprises me, but I'm here today just to say Happy New Year to everybody on this planet. To some people, it's already New Year. To some other people, it's like half a day to go, but we will all get there very soon. Happy New Year! Yay! And technically, I still need a couple of hours to say that to every human being on this planet, but pretty close. I think this is the first time I did a live stream right on the cusp of end of the year, beginning of next year. We just happen to have a Sunday, right? Incredible. So, people from everywhere, let me look at where you're from. California, New York, what is Malaysia? Whoa, hi. From planet Germany. Oh yay! Have 3 hours to go. So you're similar to China. China is like half an hour to go. Yeah. Stockholm. Is it cold there today? For Winnipeg, this year we've been very mild up to this point, end of the year. Usually end of December, you can go easily to -20. Or minus like at least 15. But we're not getting it until January this year, so. Surprisingly warm Winnipeg winter this year, but not the same for the whole planet for sure. And then if you're on the other end of Earth, is it hot there? Yeah, India is, 2:30. Oh, being so specific. 2:30. That's interesting, the time zone, because usually you just jump 1 hour, right? Liu Yuning just performed on which Jiangsu is it? Because all Chinese television stations right now are doing their big New Year celebration variety show. My iPad is on Bilibili right now. So my iPad is on the Bilibili show because it's the easiest thing to turn on for me. But I know for people in China, they're either on Hunan or on Jiangsu or on Dongfang. These couple of big television stations that has been doing end of the year show for years now, and I won't be able to catch all of them live because there really are like 4 or 5 going on the same time. Once it's done, you're gonna get clips of all the highlights on internet, no problem. And then I'll go and check. Yeah, I know he's on he's on Jiangsu. And Zhoushen probably is not just on one, because the Bilibili one is pre-recorded, it's not live, so they've recorded it before and then they're just putting it out now. And for the television stations ones, they're live. So if he shows up on other things, it's normal too. He usually shows up in multiple things at the same time because he's so sought after. He's Zhoushen. He's the 修音响 singer, what we call him in China. Every time there's a live performance and somebody would F up, and then their fans would blame it is the sound design, the amplifiers, whatever is wrong on stage. And then if Zhoushen happens to be at the same show, he will sing and it will sound perfect, and everybody would say he is the person who actually mended the sound equipment. He's the guy who fixed all things. So he probably is in other things too, but he's in like he's in Bilibili twice. So he shows up, sing a couple of songs, disappears for an hour or two, comes back and sing again. He's that important. Yeah. Zhou can be used as a machine, you know, like type of like hard, so factual stuff too. 2024, yeah. Half an hour to go for Chinese people. I have people on WeChat I have to say hi to. Mao Buyi is also on Jiangsu Really. So they managed to put Liu Yuning and Mao Buyi together. Is that gonna be good for Jiangsu television stations or bad? Usually when the drama has both of them, right? Legend of Demon Cat tonight. Ooh, some ooh energy. Haven't actually rewatched that one for years now. Maybe I should do that too. It's a pretty interesting movie. Happy New Year, yay! Oh, Mao Buyi and okay, so I definitely need to check out that clip once it's done. I like my eyebrows. That's very specific. Thank you. It's not real. Just in case you can't tell. I don't have eyebrows. Naturally, like almost nothing. Yeah. Both my parents are like lacking eyebrows, so genetically speaking, impossible for me to have them. So yeah, we don't really have much like we have to talk about today. This is really just end of the year. You know, it just happened to be December the 1st. Why not? Live stream. When you never wear glasses anymore. I can still wear glasses. I wear glasses all the time. It's just like when I make videos, it's easier to not wear glasses so that I don't have to think about reflection. When you have a light and you have to dodge the light, it's always tricky. And I don't want to spend that extra time and brain power to figure where I put the light and how I look at the camera so that would never move. Like you don't have a giant reflection in your glass, which is avoidable, totally can do, but it just makes setting up more exhausting. And I'm so lazy. I just don't want to do even that extra bit of work. Also just different pairs of glasses because of the angle of the glass. It actually is different. So like when you, with one setup, your glass doesn't actually reflect. If you change to another pair of glasses, it will. And I'm like, I'm not doing that work. I'm not doing that work. It's just too much. So I don't wear glasses in videos just so that it's easier for myself. Yeah. That's it. Simple as that. Trinidad has the most badass accent. Like, cause there was a classmate I had years and years ago when I was in England. And this lady is from Trinidad. And the way she speaks is just like, that flow of Trinidad accent is like, whoa, you cannot imitate that. And I find it personally is like the most interesting English accent if somebody from there speak English. The next one is like Scottish accent. That's like cutest, but Trinidad accent is like badass. Reading the classic you plan to reread. Do you mean, which one do you mean? I don't remember which one I talked about. Melinda, yes. The Hope is okay. It's just airing too slowly. One episode a day. It's like, what are you doing? It's Chinese drama land. With this airing speed, you're never gonna get hot. It's not Korean drama, you do 2 episodes a week and people get used to it, so it's okay. But in China, nobody can get used to 2 episodes a week, nobody. But then even 1 episode a day, sometimes it's just not really working. And because people got used to 2 every day, it's just from day one, somehow it worked into this way. So The Hope is not a bad drama, it's about high school drama. It's a remake of the Japanese Dragon Sakura, although it's completely domesticated into the Chinese society, and it's really well done. Very inventive and creative, and they definitely design every second of the show. So even every episode's opening is in a different style, and it's like a just really with a lot of passion kind of project. So if you are wondering whether you should check out the high school drama led by Zhang Ruoyun, you should. It's pretty good. But it's so slow. It's not gonna finish airing, I think, until January the 8th or something. I'm like, what? So let me just check a couple of well, for those shows, they will always have replay or clips online, so miss it is not a huge thing. Are glasses in dramas or fake then? Not really. You can tell like they have glasses, but sometimes they're not real glasses. They're not actually having any prescription. They're just glass. A lot of actors wear just glass, just to as a facial decoration. It's actually not having any effect. I heard Wang Hedi. Oh yeah, he needs double. Yeah, Wang Hedi definitely. Queen of News, watched parts of it. Not a huge fan of it. Derailment, I watched part of it. Not getting it either. Also, like that thing, the thing with Derailment is it's so different from the book. It changes the essence of the book. The essence of the book is a story about somebody who's a spoiled second generation brat who got thrown into the situation, and she has to basically build her life up from zero and survive. And she really doesn't get any special help and treatment, and she's not a genius. So eventually she also doesn't like suddenly makes it all happen for her and she becomes self-made millionaire. It doesn't work like that. She managed to basically survive and then realized like become a useful person to society, although she's not super rich anymore. And that message in the drama is one of the most, you'd say, close to mainstream and also very focused on reality, society sort of story that Priest has written among all the stories she's done. So very 现实主义 and sort of more than the other things of her work. Yet the drama just turns into another opportunity to have quite silly romantic tropey moments happen, like out of nowhere the guy comes to save the girl type of thing, which is so the thing is, if you like the two actors, in terms of the being an idol romantic drama and watch it, it's like okay. But again, if you want to compare the core of the story to its original stuff, it's different, right? It's you would call it missed opportunity because it really doesn't show the best part of what the original story is. It lightens it and it just flattens it into another common romantic story, which we've had too many, so why another? That's the thing. But again, only if you know what it's based on, then you probably wouldn't be happy. So that's what Derailment 脱轨 is. That's Youku. But unfortunately in China nobody is watching. Nobody. Not even renting videos are renting about it. It's like that's how quiet and uneventful the airing of Derailment is. Let's see just if there's anything that I missed. Wang Hedi's Mandarin. The thing is, Wang Hedi, he's not just his accent is clearly Sichuan. He also doesn't. His voice is untrained. That's how I would say. His voice is very. The moment he opens his mouth, his voice is very scattered. And you are born with a certain voice quality, but with training, you can like make it better. Or people can actually talk in very different ways if they're talking properly in a performance kind of way for a particular character, or they're just talking casually as themselves. There's always that you know, you can actually shift. He can do it. He's like naturally sounding like what when he plays a character. He doesn't know how to play with the muscles, so he sounds extremely untrained. And the instant he opens his mouth, he's like out of the story. He's not in a drama space. He's in a documentary, and he sounds like somebody who's never learned Mandarin and how to speak it properly as an actor. And that's a problem. Okay, if he wants to continue being in the industry and actually perform with his own voice, it's a lot of work. It's just not just the Mandarin. I wouldn't even say Mandarin is his biggest problem, like whether he can speak the standard Mandarin. It is the vocal quality, where the voice comes from. Diaphragm, the vocal cord, like the spaces, you know, in your mouth, in your chest, in your head, like how do you use that? He doesn't know. It's just completely untrained. And yeah, all the muscles around him, there's an inside he needs training a lot, which he definitely is not doing or doing enough. So yeah. Guqin speaks still. Guqin doesn't speak a coherent sentence. He chops very badly. Boom, 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 like a robot. Boom, 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 boom. Not how naturally people speak. Like these things are, if you want to get it sorted, you can. It's not the hardest thing in the world. You may not have the natural talent to do it better than a lot of naturally talented people, but you can get to a very acceptable level. But I guess these people don't have time to invest at all. Like, say, lock you down a month away from all kinds of spokesmanship, variety show, any type of public appearance, anything. Get a teacher from morning till evening, just train you like hell. 1 month is more than enough, really, for any human beings. If you want to get it done, and you're already a Chinese person, so you don't really need to learn the language. But they don't have the time, like even for that. That's honestly what it is. It just means priorities, right? Priorities. When they can say that I'm trying very hard, I want to be a good actor, but then they're not actually putting the work and time. So it's more attractive to earn quick money for sure. You know, go to this show for like what, a day, fly there, they pay the tickets and you get what, 1 million RMB. Like, do you want to do it or just want to stay at home and not making money and learn Mandarin? I'm just saying, it's very hard to make a decision. Ekina1314 一生一世 Thank you for your super chat. Wow. Greetings from NYC. Hi. Cool city. I've been there twice. I love NYC, but probably only as a tourist. If I actually have to live there, it's gonna be a pain. So expensive. Everything in NYC is like, Let me just quickly look at what people are saying. So we can go through quickly about a couple of, will you play Guqin during live again? Maybe in the future. I mean, I can take it up now, but I won't be able to make it like sound good because I don't have a table here, and then on my lap it will be weird. On this particular slab that I am on, it sounds terrible. It needs resonance, and what I have right now is a stone slab, so it doesn't resonate. And if you put the qing on a stone table and play, it sounds so bad. You wouldn't believe it's the same instrument. It's literally unbelievably bad. You need wood, and I don't have it. So maybe in the future. Also, like when I play live, I get nervous, so I start to sweat, and then my fingers cannot move anymore because they get stuck. Like suddenly traction. I'm like, whoa. So if I play live again, I will need sandbag to dry my hand. Otherwise, it will sound terrible. Yiyan Guazheng always cried. Liu Yuning, yeah, well, it's like, you know, the ladder to fame. You know, like when you want to climb it, you just have to take it. It's gonna be a lot of shit, particularly these days. Back in the days where there's no internet, at least you have that buffer. It's very hard for anybody to directly get anything to you, and these days, unfortunately, it's instant. Right, like literally the drama airs for 1 second and people start ranting about you, and you like sometimes you don't even have, like, you're not even on screen and people rant about you. So I guess like welcome to entertainment. If he wants to stay in this business and play, then he's got to be able to take it. Mutations, I watched 3 episodes. It's you thought it's a zombie movie, but a zombie drama, but it turned out to be a alien drama. that creature, when it comes out, I'm like, like you can see a lot of Ridley Scott, right, in the design of them, in the spider. I'm like, oh, what? What? So this is meant in this setting alien drama, I guess. I totally didn't see that coming. In terms of the story itself, it's not so engaging. It's not that bad, but by episode 3, I've watched already episode 3. Yesterday, I'm like, okay, not too bad, not too good. Maybe I'll watch the rest. Maybe it's just not the things that not something that's like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens, type of thing. Is it possible to learn? Guqin is so expensive to learn. I think it's not because it's expensive to learn. It's just because not that many people are teaching or playing it, so it's harder to get hold of things. It's not the most popular instrument to start with for Chinese instruments. The qin itself can be expensive too, just due to how it's made. It takes way too much time to do a qin. It goes through at least a year if it's properly handmade. So usually the qin maker make a batch together. Like they make multiple batches around the year. They schedule it. So they start 10, for example, this month. Next month they start 10. And it goes through, they need a huge warehouse to dry things, to multiple time polishing things. And so basically handmade qin takes, honestly speaking, a proper one needs a year or so to get it done. And because of that, if it's actually a handmade one, it just cannot be cheap. And then there aren't that many people teaching it, so it will be hard to get very good lessons. And for instrument, the thing is, right, if you don't have a one-on-one, face-to-face, it's very hard to actually learn it for people to even film it with very good camera and angles. You just don't know. When you are playing it yourself, what is the difference between doing this and that? It's very subtle. So that's why qin is harder to learn. I really wanted to make a qin tutorial lesson that can be put on Skillshare and places like that. But the thing with that is, personally, I'm not that good a player, so I don't think it's fair for me to teach people. Also, filming that needs a space, so you would need at least big enough space that you can dress up with lighting and set up so that you can have close-up from angles, you have top-down view, you have multiple cameras, and it's just a lot of actual money to do it properly, if you want to do it properly with a presentable quality. Right now I just am not with that. I can't do it. I don't have enough people, space, money, gear, to do that. I do know very good professional players, but then they are not where I am, like either in America or in China. And I'm like, if I want to film a series of lessons and get it produced, right? Oh, like how? Like it's just the logistics of getting it done is like, boom, already my head is exploding. So I need a team. I need a company. I need a team to actually make it happen so that it has proper quality. I mean, I can film it like with my own camera, but it's just not going to be good enough. Song Yi, she does she have a recently new one? You don't think so? 就名宋茜. That one, waiting for Hunan TV to put it up. Ordinary Hero. Let me just quickly look at what people are talking about. Do you feel like Zhao Lusi is good? I think ever since she got famous from Chen Qianqian, Tiger and Rose, she signed a contract to sell her souls to platforms. And it becomes a traffic game. No longer really is about which drama she does or the story she does or as an actress. She definitely is like an idol actor almost, right? She went down that route, which is getting traffic, getting fandom, popularize your image. If you go back to watch her back in 2017, she was in the show that's like a 超新星, like all the young stars doing like a game, like an athletic game. If you still remember that, a lot of people went to that show. She was in one of those shows. That was like 6 years ago or something. I remember she was so different. The way she looks, like the energy of the person. I don't know if you still remember back then what her image. She's not, at the time, she's not dressed particularly to, like she does now, to please others. Her energy back then was just very youthful and vitality, and she's like a growing tree. Her hair is huge, right? She naturally has a lot of hair, and that energy, and even her makeup, like her energy was that youthful, growing, naturally pretty energy. Now she's very she tunes everything to the type of image I think like she thinks will make her popular or people would like her to be in. Way too self-aware of what could make her popular. That's just what I sense, right? About from then to now. So there's definitely a clear sort of like direction she's going for, which is whatever you want, I'll give so that I can. It's working, you know, in the sense like if that's the result she wants, but it's a different energy now, totally. Like, yeah, that's the only way I can put it. The way you look at her now, like how she presents herself, like everything is different from then on. You can argue which one is your, like you prefer, or you don't actually notice that and you don't care. I mean, I'm not like I don't, I'm not a fan of anybody really, so I don't follow very closely to what people are doing here and there. But it's just overall, many promising and pretty young people pick this route. Probably this is the easiest route to go down to get to maximize, right? Maximize personal gain in everything considered. But maybe they're just like, you know, that's what it's free will. And you can totally decide what I mean, also like it's just lucky enough, like you can actually choose. You know, think, oh, I want to go down this route. Oh, actually it's available. You can actually have that choice. So, it is just like most of the dramas she's done since like Chen Qianqian, Tiger and Rose. I watch them and I'm just like indifferent to pretty much everything the drama has. I go, okay, it's watchable, but then zero reaction from me. I don't get reaction to those stories anymore. She's not 腐女, okay? But the thing is, I don't think the style she has right now really is that suitable for her. and also like she's again, she's trying to please, or she's trying to like that type of like what she believes would be popular thing for her to do. Like she's you lose your particular thing that nobody can replace, right? So I don't think like Scout Hero is in response to any K-drama or anything, because 抗美援朝 this thing has been since a couple of years ago been brought up a lot in films. Like see the two 长津湖 films, they're huge. And also we're getting closer to like, for example, this year is the 130th anniversary of, you know, so a lot of those things happen like long before it happened. It got planned. It needs to happen at a certain time, and when they have such a project, they would pick the reliable crew, team, director, writers to do it. It's not something that's done like immediately. It's like for years they've been planning this type of projects, and they'll put the team together, get it done. So it's, and for Chinese dramas, you see it got filmed for 3 months, yes, but like probably 3 years ago, they're already working on it. And if other countries, other stuff happen around the same time, it's just, you know, it just happens to happen at the same time. For Chinese dramas, particularly this type of heavy and proper and politically very, very important dramas, they don't happen overnight. Okay, there's no way that it happens overnight. It's just not how it's done. So should make a video about me. About what? Nothing to know about me. I certainly cannot fly and don't have wings. I cannot time jump, and I can't even ride a bike. Interesting, isn't it? Ho Min-ha, pretty boy. Very good looking. And with like a surprisingly muscly body. When you just look at his face, you're like, yeah, pretty boy. And then when you look at his body, oh, some serious gym work. But in terms of acting, it's okay. I just look at him because he's pretty. Okay, I don't watch his like stuff for great performances. I just watch it for pretty face. Yeah, Zhang Ruoyun definitely is, but then he's good. He's actually a good actor, regardless of like his father is a famous director. And also it's funny that he actually doesn't have a good relationship with his father. They divorced, like the parents when he was pretty young, so he doesn't get along with his like biological father, but the father is definitely there so that he enters the industry easier. But still, he's a good actor, regardless. Wang Xiao, regardless. Mother is a famous actress. Father is a famous, like what? Scriptwriter or director or whatever. But he is like, he actually worked in all kinds of weird things, including is a post-production CG, whatever. He studied in Canada, and he worked for like 6 years as just like any office worker before he decided, no, actually I should go in acting. So these people are pretty. They're not, yes, they have that kind of industry connection, but then it's because themselves are good too, right? They don't get there because they have special relationships. Maybe it helps here and there, but if they're not good, nobody is going to use them for a second time. And see how Wang Xiao is like in every freaking drama? Not because he's the son of somebody, but because he's a freaking good actor. So Chen Feiyu, you know, like son of a famous director, he is more controversial because personally hasn't proven that he's really a good actor, and father gives him a bit too much help. So the thing is, if you are actually good at what you do, people wouldn't have a problem with the fact that you come from this kind of background, and probably they will just say it's in the family. You grew up, you know this whole thing. Like you're like since the day you walk, you know acting. So obviously, if you're good enough, at the end of the day, it's like actress, actor, whatever background you come from. At the end of the day, it's if you're good, and if you're so good. And you're so good that nobody can ignore you, or nobody can replace you with anybody, or it's just too obvious that this role can only be yours, nobody can take it, then everything else is just like does not matter. When you argue anything beyond that, it's because you're not good enough. It's a cruel business. It's just like athletes. It's like running on the track. You are just one step like faster than everybody else, then you're the best. Simple. Acting in the world, it's like in the acting world, I mean, you can argue who's the best, who's the second best, you know, but if you're among that tier of like everybody knows you're good, then you're good. And then you can be like, you can actually be sometimes even very nasty, and yet people still want you because you are irreplaceable. Pretty much in every profession is like that, right? If you're actually really that good. Waiting for immortality. If Chen Kaige cannot make it happen, then it's not going to happen for any other BL drama. How about that? And probably they don't really want it to happen now, honestly speaking, for these people. On one hand, they'll probably say, oh, we spent so much time making this and that. But on the other, because of the overall attitude towards this whole genre, and then these actors are moving on, they have new projects, their later film dramas have all come out, and it's like the longer you wait, the more irrelevant those BL dramas become, and probably actually become hindrance to your career if they come out later. So the longer you wait, these people who are actually in the drama probably would pray that the drama does not come out. Because reality has moved on, and the longer you wait, it's just gonna be bigger gap, right? And you know, for example, Zhang Linghe, right? He was in 天官赐福, and afterwards he's in couple of, regardless if it has done well or not, at least he's on Reso all the time this year, 2023, and it's all in BG dramas, good or bad. So do you think he would actually suddenly want to drop back to BL world? Maybe not necessarily. So maybe we'll just have to leave them all in the past, and maybe like 20 years later, when none of these people are still popular as young popular actors, they're just like middle-aged uncles now, and nobody cares about, you know, and then maybe like that can just get released. Like just 20 years later, all BL dramas that haven't seen daylight just suddenly show up together. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Did I used to work? Yes. And I may keep working now and in the future, you know. Particularly now, we are in the world where content creation has become so easy. In about a decade's time, it's gonna be the situation where your laptop computer can do all the CG for yourself. Like you don't even have to do it. You just like typing AI, change the background of this shot to Neptune and have Jupiter rising on the horizon. And then digitally swap this face to another. It's just typing commands on your computer and then it will get generated. So everybody can make content on their own computer. It would just make it so easy. You can literally do everything in your garage. Make a movie in your garage by yourself. In a decade's time, it's gonna happen with AI. No question about that. So everybody stay healthy, live long enough, and then I don't know, you may see a movie that's completely made by me and a computer. I'm just saying, totally possible. Leo, 暴雪时分. Snowstorm hasn't announced anything, but I don't see why Tencent doesn't put it out January. Like, why not? New Year, snowing, filmed in Finland, and a lot of snow, and it would be odd if they put it out in summer, right? So 90% of the possibilities it's gonna show up in January. Tencent. I just don't see why they don't do it. I can't see any reason why. So not. Probably will happen. New Year's time is also possible, but I mean, New Year is like 12th or 11th or something like that, February this year. For just before Valentine's Day. So from now to then, definitely will air. Like, I just don't see why they wouldn't. From now to mid-February. Latest you'll wait till is Valentine's Day. Unless somebody suddenly had a house clubs, it will air. No question about that. Admission. The thing is, admission our degree. No. Complicated situation. Censorship. Strict with censorship. Chinese censorship is weird. It's not strict. It's actually very malleable. It depends on at what time you're putting what forward and who is sitting there and taking your project in and what kind of personal relationship you have. It's very, very, sometimes extremely, you just don't get how it could pass censorship stuff happen all the time that gets aired. And then sometimes things that doesn't have any problem, just that cannot get aired and you don't really know what's going on. And again, I mean, they intentionally do it that way so that if you're actually clear with your rules, then everybody can go around the rules. It's so easy. You always can invent 101 way of getting around the rule. But if you're not clear about your rules, then you have the final definition of everything. So you can just do whatever you like. So. In China, it's already New Year. Some places else, if you're still 1 hour, then you're 1 hour behind China's time. But for me, it's still more than 12 hours to go. Liu Xueyi. Suddenly, just type the new name Liu Xueyi. He's filming a drama with Wu Jingyan. Costume, makeup, and countdown concert. I haven't. I will later. Like when I'm looking at the camera, so I don't really look at other things right now. Later I'll just check social media. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see it. Yeah. So the whole thing that I don't get about Yinian Guanshan, right? There are things I've talked about in my videos, and there are things I can talk about in my videos and not also in the live stream, but things I heard from the back end of why certain things are the way they are, and I'm just like, oh, holy shit, this is a mess. Both within the drama and without the drama is like what's going on outside and why it gets this weird wave of attack like from day one. The drama airs instantly. There was like a swamp of haters just came in like they're all on steroids. And so because of the level and the intensity, there's no way it happens spontaneously, right? And because it's not like 东八区的先生 or 以爱为营, where just the drama itself is so ridiculous in everything that anybody who sees it will rant about it because it's just way too beyond normal sort of sense of what is normal. And this drama is the first 6 episodes when it got released, 一念关山, Journey to Love, it was so normal. I think the first wave of response on the day one when it got released that I see and also I have on internet was, the first thing I said was, holy shit, this drama is so normal. Everybody is so normal. Characters are normal. The plot is normal. Camera is normal. It's way too normal in comparison to all the abnormal things we've seen close to before it was airing, that it becomes even more normal. So the whole thing about Yin and Guanshan, the first impression anybody should get normally if you are watching Chinese dramas regularly is, holy shit, this drama is so normal. Yet, immediately after the whole wave of normal, the next day is like, wow, everything on my feed is like, this drama is wrong, stupid, this and that, and this guy is ugly, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what, people, did you watch the drama? Like, what are you talking about? Why are all the points you're talking about not making any sense? I even have this whole feel of like, is this like the Mandela thing? Like literally split of timeline is, on this timeline, I'm watching a drama that looks like this, but all the people who are saying all these things, they're actually watching a different version. But somehow I'm seeing their response. But they're actually not watching what I'm watching. And there's no way of me actually knowing what they're watching because we're crossing timelines. Like, I literally had that reaction when I was looking at all the hate on Yin and Guanshan. I was just so shocked. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? It's so just detached from reality and so not based on fact. Like, I was talking in the chat group I have, like only 3 people, and we've been chatting since days of Guardian about Chinese dramas. And I was like, hold on, what? I'm looking at this and I'm just so confused. What's going on? And they were like, we're also very confused. We don't know what's going on. So that whole thing is very, very, very weird. And later I got more news from places that I'm like, oh, okay, so this is going on, interesting, huh? Not surprised. Okay, cool. Yes, I guess that makes sense then. And then I can't really say that in a live stream because you don't have evidence, but you kind of know that's why, and it's like one of those complicated things, and you just laugh secretly about holy shit. Really? People? Come on, what the heck are you doing? I know, I sound like I'm talking in riddles, but really, it is the situation that is like this. And the drama could have actually gotten a lot bigger, in my opinion, if actually it was treated with love, or if people who are involved in this whole project actually are on the same boat, then they would all try to push the boat in one direction, and it would actually end up a lot better than what it looks like now. This is a situation where different parties have their own interests, and they start to within, and therefore it imploded. That's what happened to Yin and Guanshan. It really imploded because people who are supposed to on the same team are not on the same team. That's like, I'm already being very, actually, so you go and figure what I mean. And then there are a lot of people who are just like catching on because this is like getting popular, right? You talk about it, you're gonna get traffic, people are gonna click onto your thumbnail on video, so everybody joins in. They don't really care about what like, I doubt many people who make those videos actually sat down and watched the whole 40 episodes of the drama. It looks like they haven't watched anything. They probably just watched the clip that's taken out of the context from where, and then they start to have their huge speech about those absolutely ridiculous things that does not make sense. Like the whole argument that the female lead is like, is completely weakened because they want to give the highlight to the male lead. I'm like, seriously, have you counted the minutes of how people are on screen? Like, he doesn't have that much screen time. It's very averaged out between the 2 leads. And then if you look at supporting roles, well, you have one supporting role who has way too much screen time than he needed. Clearly, anybody who's worked in industry and know how to write a story knows that. These people just like, so they go crazy. So I was just looking at everything on internet. I'm like, this is just so ridiculous. So the drama outside of the drama, oh wow, is so much better than the drama itself. And also in terms of the ending crash, I think from what I gather, the last 6 episodes really wasn't written by the original author. That's why you have this sudden cliff drop of everybody not making sense anymore. It pretty much is up to the point where episode 34 ends. And then things beyond that are actually written by different people. And they have to tie it. They have to finish it. They have to finish it in 6 episodes. They have to tie everything down. They have to. If you watch for 一念关山, if you watch the politics related plot in the Anguo, the country that they went to, pretty much nothing actually is original lines. Like all the actors, they got overdubbed by different lines. Just look at their mouth, you can tell. Everything that's related to a lot of politics of that court gets changed. So in the original script, it's a different type of situation that country has. And the reason why that queen died, everything is different actually. But censorship thing, I think it's because the original script has things that cannot, even when it's fictional, cannot pass these days. Talks about certain things that are politically very sensitive, even when it's fictional and period. So they have to change everything in the politics part. And once that's changed, the ending needs to get shifted. And because of this and that reason, the character gets extra attention so that they need to get added in, and the changed version now has to have a different way of like arriving at a conclusion. Therefore, eventually the last 6 episodes just went a bit. We don't care, we just want to finish it and then just like get it done. So honestly, if you only look at the first 30 episodes of how they're trying to thread the character, and then in a way cut out the redundant Li Tongguang moments that probably doesn't need to be there, just look at initially the setups and how this writer was like creating the world. I have the feeling that the initial version of the design for the Li Tongguang Rao is he's gonna be the king of An Kingdom. He's not gonna be a regent. He is designed to actually take the throne. It's just like how I feel. Zhang Wei's original intention. And for the princess role, it's not really technically possible for her to take her country's throne. But it's likely that she's going to be in a very important position to influence these two countries' alliance. And therefore, in a way, become the de facto sort of like person who is joining the two countries together. Like, I have the feeling that the two students of Ren Ruyi, the female and the male one, they're gonna become the future of the power of the two countries, and join them together in a way. And therefore, Li Tongguang, technically speaking, would have to become the king of that country. And I just feel like from how he's set up, right? He's so designed to take the throne. And the whole thing that he becomes a regent and he never actually had that ambition of like, I want to sit on top of the throne, just doesn't quite make sense for the character setup. At least that's what I feel. If Zhang Wei really was allowed to write her full story to the end, it will be something like that, in my opinion. Okay, just my opinion. But it cannot pass censorship. First is the whole thing of one country interferes another country's internal politics, which Wu Guo in the story is influencing. And if they succeed, like the whole group, the ambassador group, and also the princess and Li Tongguang, right, the whole thing works out. It basically is Wu Guo manages to, in a way, takes Anguo and change their politics and structure and sovereign sort of like system. And that reflected in current politics is just not what China wants to put out, right? So that could be one reason why that plot needs to be changed, where you cannot have one country, one kingdom to influence another kingdom's internal politics. I think it's a very, very reasonable guess for why, if you want to write the original version of the story, we're guessing that the author has It cannot go through. It needs to be changed. The other thing is the whole idea of why Li Tongguang cannot even in any way desire the throne. The whole 王侯将相宁有种乎 idea, that's actually in Chinese culture. Like, it's funny. It's China. One of the texts we have to learn as kids in school from Chinese text, one of the most famous story is about Chen Sheng Wu Guang and the rebel against the Qing's rule. And one of the famous line every Chinese person knows is 王侯将相宁有种乎, which means the kings and the generals, the people who are aristocrats and have those powers, really how different are they, like, from us? So that, like, are they better? Are they born better so that they can have the right? You know, aren't we the same humans? So that whole idea of, if you're crappy and you're sitting on the throne and we're not happy about that, we're gonna kick you off. And we're gonna take over. And that whole idea actually is in Chinese culture from day one. So it's different. Even when you think about China has this thousands of years of imperial ruling, every dynasty rises taking over the last one usually comes from a type of a rebellious thing that happens in the power structure. And it's very different from compared to Japan, where you're not supposed to think about you can jump classes and you can move. Like, if you are samurai, you're always just serving your lord, and you die, and it's an honor to do that. But if you wanna, then it's definitely go no. And it's in the culture that it's just not the right proper thing to do. Whereas in Chinese culture, it's actually, you know, fuck it, I'm just as good as you are. So, I feel the original intention of this story has a very strong sense of 王侯将相宁有种乎. So they're represented by the princess and Li Tongguang, the two students of Ren Ruyi, who are, although they are the royal family, technically speaking, of their own kingdom, they're both at the position where they just don't have power at all. They're like the lowest form of possible relatives to the imperial ruling, and they have nothing, and they rise to power. And they were like, we don't care, you know, we're gonna do it, and we're just gonna get it, right? And I think that probably is the original intention of the story. That is not right now in any way encouraged. Therefore, we're guessing. We're totally guessing. There's no proof about that. But with what we ended up with in the story, where Li Tongguang first is, with his ambition and sort of his a little bit psychotic nature, I just don't see why he never really even thinks about he should be the one who takes the throne instead of just be a regent. Like, you know, I guess that's how far your ambition can go. So maybe that's why we have fucked up 6 episodes at the end. Sorry about the word, but it's really effed up, right? The last 6 episodes. Because they have to suddenly just swing the story around and make it make sense for the new order of things, and therefore things just like go a bit what the heck ends. Explosion ends, everybody dies, and they guess, it's just a guess, okay? No proof, never will get one. And then because of all the mess that happens around the drama, it's it's just a type of drama that because of all the things outside of the drama, that you just cannot look at the drama with a very, it's just psychologically, it's very uncomfortable to get too close to the drama. It's like that gravel in your shoe. When you think about Yin Yan Guanshan, it's just like making you feel really uncomfortable. But that's just like my guess, not based on any proof of why the story ends up looking like what it is. Could be that. Unless one day in the future, I can actually get to know one of the people who actually work on this and they know exactly what happened. I'll ask them. And if I actually got an answer, maybe I'll tell you. But then, before that happens, Yeah, that writer. Okay, I don't think she's the best writer out there, but she's one of the better ones we have in Dramaland. And she gets a lot of hate. I don't know why either. And last year's Meng Hualu also gets a lot of hate and argument online that I think some of it is valid, but some of it is over exaggerating. They are just like pushing that whole argument of it's a very distorted way of looking at feminism and woman's power and right in the world. And it's very divisive. It's dividing, polarizing. It's basically trying to make the opposite gender enemy, right? And therefore you have to be the strong woman who's like has no heart and no love, and you just like you have to win. It's like a competition constantly. Everything, like you have to win screen time. One episode 40 minutes, you have to have at least 21 minutes instead of like 19. And then if you have only a 19, then you're not the female lead and you're weaker than the male lead, and then therefore the male lead is being helped by the capital to like all those stupid argument online. And even within the story, there's this weird and people like feel so righteous to talk about the whole idea of the female lead just needs to in a way treat the male lead who's supposed to be their lover as their enemy, and they have to fight on everything. It's like every argument the woman has to win. She has to be completely free. She has to not give anything she wants, give up for whatever, having a relationship with this person. She needs to not sacrifice anything. That way you ensure she is the independent, powerful female lead. If in any way she shows any form of weakness, she needs help from the guy, if the guy comes to help her and save her in any way, then suddenly she's wrong. Definitely distress. It's like archaic. We have to chuck it in history, and it's always going to be the female lead is the strongest thing. She doesn't need anyone's help. She's always alone, and she's the lone wolf, and that will make the world perfect. If in any way she shows that she's in any way weak, and anybody in the story even like talk to her that suggesting she's fragile, then that person is wrong, and the drama is wrong, and the writer is wrong. And like I'm like, what kind of extremism these people are believing in? Holy. Yeah, okay. I wish you have a nice life if you live like that and treat everybody in your life like that, and thinking like that makes sense. But that's what we get these days in Dramaland. It's so funny. Nobody can deal with the fact that a female lead would be in any way they consider to be weak, quotation mark. It's like she's not always saving the day. She needs other people saving. She needs to be like the strongest. Nobody can beat her. Nobody can harm her. She's every time she shows up fighting, she will win, no matter whether she's against 3,000 people or 3. And if she ever gets saved or helped by the male lead, you see a whole troop on internet start to say, the drama is weakening the female lead. She still needs to get saved by the guy. And you're lying to us that this is a big female lead story, but then she's just the girlfriend. I'm like, wait, what? People. What the heck? And that doesn't just, like, Yinian Guanshan has a lot of that on internet. And I think a lot of people are just like, they just want the traffic. They know this is going to create traffic and people are going to clickbait on their content, so they do it. And then last year's Meng Hualu is also just like over the top, like the people's hate on her work and how like, you are making the female lead so weak. Oh, she just want a good life. Therefore, she picked this rich guy who has this high social status, who's actually, you know, the son of the guy who killed your father. But you so easily forget, like, 杀父之仇不共戴天, the whole story. And you just like, because you have a good life ahead of you, therefore you just forget about that. And then they argue that whole thing. And I'm like, have you actually watched the drama, right? And there could be so many counter arguments about why what they're doing actually doesn't work for the story itself. The story could have treated that whole plot line a lot better, like with a lot of finesse and enough detail to actually not causing any problems that later it got, you know, like criticized of. So it could have done better job, but I don't think it deserves the amount of hate. that people have for that drama, and now they nickname it in the most vicious ways, like 裹脚布 drama or whatever drama, like bonded feet cloth drama. I'm like, really? Come on, what the heck? Yeah, they want a Song Dynasty setting drama of a woman who needs no help from any male, right? And she doesn't have like a high birth or whatever super like huge gold mountain like born to that. It rise to the top of the society, like doing huge businesses, like without any help. Like that should be how the drama happens. I'm like, okay, good luck. Like have it set in Song Dynasty and make sense. Whatever. So, yeah, I look at this. I'm like, come on. Can you just? These people, they don't like they the thing about what their action and their words is very what does not make logical sense is on one hand they're always saying we are feminist and we are like pro women's rights and whatever, girl power, okay. On the other hand, they've refused to treat even a character in the drama, a woman, a female role, as a human being. Like human being comes first, and then woman or gender, whatever, then other identities you have, right? Like if you have to rank. So first and foremost, think about regardless of your gender, right? You're first a human, you know, so what should be respected and allowed for a person who's got free will to do? If they don't want to pick the life where, or they don't want to constantly 100% all the time being like, you know, boss of the world, if they want to just give up parts of their so-called rights to get this and that, so that's not like what acceptable now. So you just want to, you don't treat these people as people. You just treat them as, you have to live according to my value. You have to become this flattened, perfect role model, like in my opinion, what is perfect. And then you have to stick to all those rules. Right? If you just deviate from that one step, then you're wrong and you're bad. I'm like, okay, so much for respecting and thinking that people are also equal, right? As you are. So they say that they're pro women, but I'm like, you're more misogynistic than those guys, you know, because you don't even want to treat them as humans to start with. You just want to treat them as a kind of like just have be the Christmas tree that has all the tags I like. Boom, 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 boom. And if you like just have one thing that's like not to my liking, really, it's so hypocritical, right? And yeah, I don't think any human can live that kind of life, really. And ultimately, then if you really subscribe to that kind of belief, then you also like, you don't have a good life. You become, every action, every words you say, every action you do is according to a sort of, God knows where it comes from, standard. and like, it's not moment to moment. It's not honest to your emotion. It's just living to become a statue instead of a real human beings. Anyway, I look at those arguments online and I'm like, oh my God, these people, get your life sorted out. Come on. And then, so that's all the things that happened because of A Journey to Love. So because of that, this drama is special to me because, wow. Through this drama, I see so many weird things that people subscribe to these days. Opens my eyes furthermore to human diversity. So let's talk about dramas that are ongoing. We have 繁花 Blossoms, or Shanghai Blossoms, or Blossom Shanghai, like however you want to call it. We are waiting for Changxiangsi to show up, the second season, where we haven't heard any news. Initially, I think it was like, everybody was thinking December. They're gonna air the second season, the second half, but hasn't happened yet. And also Tencent hasn't said when it's gonna show up, so who knows? The hope is it's gonna finish airing on Youku around 8th or 9th. And Mutation just went live yesterday, yes, on iQIYI. So currently ongoing, apart from these, the older ones that have gone live, like Derailment and stuff, I just didn't keep watching. I watched about 3-4 episodes and couldn't take it, so probably not gonna go back and watch it. What else is on? Pretty much like that's things that are on right now. I Know I Love You. Oh yeah, that one went live on Christmas Day. It's based on a Korean drama. I didn't know, and then later, after I made a video, I was like, oh, actually, it's a remake of the spring night, the K drama, 春夜. The I Know I Love You. 出轨 drama, 背德 drama, the drama of not doing the right thing. One spring night, yes. So that's actually the remake of that one. I didn't know that, and I was like, oh, I find it's weird they picked Zhang Wanyi, because Zhang Wanyi in my head, I just imagine him playing somebody who's like a cheating character. I'm like, oh, that's so weird. My brain refused to compute that he is he makes sense for this type of role. I haven't had time to check it out, and in a way, I'm a bit scared. Actually, I feel I will get weirded out somehow. Because Zhang Wanyi just looks so old-fashionedly uptight and proper. Like he plays a king, a prince, and a revolutionary. Like that all makes sense, but then, like, I find it's hard to maybe I have to watch it to know, but I'm intentionally putting it off, because just by imagining the type of character he plays in the story, that's really odd. It's really odd. He, to me, okay, at least when I watch his performance, he's so let's put it that way. Astrologically, he's just like so earthy quality. Very strong earth element. It would be very hard for me to compute that he plays. For people who are into New Year, yeah, Happy New Year again. From Vancouver, hi. Couple of hours behind me. So these are the dramas we have on, right? That's pretty much it. Fanhua, I probably will make a video about it. Watch it in Shanghai dialect if you have a choice. I don't know WeTV whether it has that. If you're watching on Tencent's China's version, turn on the Shanghai dialect version. Oh, it's so much better than the Mandarin. Totally different. Not on WeTV. Then that's complicated, because you would have first to have the Chinese version of Tencent subscription. Then you would have to VPN your way into China, which means you have to buy. There's a company I don't do advertise for them, but it's really really nice. Like it works very well. I've been using them for years. It's called this Transok, and it looks like this. It's a green. It's like this company. I don't know if you can see. It's green and it's Transok. They allow you to VPN into China, and then you can see everything that's on China's internet that has copyright protection with IP address outside of China. Then you can watch it. So a bit inconvenient, but it's two different dramas, and they acted in Shanghai dialect originally. Then they dubbed themselves in post-production, but the vocabulary, the way it's, and the energy, the sound is different. Even the pitch of the voice is different. Totally. And I just enjoyed it so much because I don't speak. But I understand it by ear 100%, because my dad is from Shanghai, so I grew up listening to him speak, and my mom is from Suzhou, so it's pretty close. So I'm completely okay with listening, and so I don't have to stare at the screen all the time watching the dialect version, and it's just like, oh, 胡歌、马伊琍、唐嫣、董永。Chen Long, these couple of actors, their acting gets 30% better when they are in Shanghai dialect. So, and also the weaker they are as an actor, the bigger the jump they have when they speak Shanghai dialect. Particularly Tang Yan, I have to say. Okay. She, like, I mean, how many good dramas has she been in recently? She's seen so many idol dramas that are just like fluff and nothing really. It doesn't require any acting abilities. And she's pretty, yes, but then apart from that, what else does it do? Her golden ages were still back in the days where she played Zixuan. That's like how many years ago in Chinese Paladin 3? Anyway, but when she speaks Shanghai dialect, it totally shifts her energy. Boom. It's like a different person. And the way she has a high-pitched, very over-dramatic way of talking, but it makes sense for a character in Blossoms, is just making her so much better an actress. Also, there's the, I think recently, if you've watched episode 7, 8, around that time, where she had this scene with Hu Ge, where she's wearing the glasses and they're laughing at each other and talking. If you've ever shipped Guqin, Hu Ge and Tang Yan in your life, you will cry. You will cry for that scene. Oh. And I tell you, if it's not in Shanghai dialect for that scene, it wouldn't have worked that well. It was so good. And then even for Hu Ge, he's pretty good in both, like in Mandarin, also in Shanghai dialect. But he's right. Oh, he so needs to be in Shanghai dialect to have that full thing of him being the character about comes out. The type of just like it's even vocabularies are different, right? Certain things just cannot be replaced in dialect. I remember the scene where he has a lot of scene in the small restaurant with Ma Yili, and when they are talking and arguing, they're literally fighting. They're all in Shanghai dialect and so fast and with a high energy. It's like, whoa, that feels so good. If it's in Mandarin, it immediately takes out half of its like harm. The level of intensity just gets like dropped 50% instantly. It's totally different. And when they're fighting in Shanghai dialect, I'm like, oh, that feels so good. She take on more mature roles in Blossoms. It's not like she wants to, then she will get them. First, this type of role is very few on offer. And then if I am a producer, she would not be the first person I think of. Okay, unfortunately. If for a close to 40 years old, already 40 years old actress to play a fitting of her age role in a contemporary, more realism-based drama, unless the role is specifically written for her, it's gonna be really hard for anybody to like casting director if just to think of her as a first choice. There are so many more first choices, unfortunately, in the industry now than her. So thanks to Wang Jiawei, at least we get this. Hu Ge's Mandarin, yeah. His Mandarin is perfect, no problem at all. He is proper graduate of proper acting school. And he was a little kid. When he was a little kid, he was already like TV anchor for Shanghai local television programs. But the thing is, when he speaks Shanghai dialect, it's a different energy. And there's this thing, I guess unless you actually understand Shanghai dialect as a native, you know like what is the way of thinking and the sort of like how they look at the world from the very domestic and very local Shanghai people of that time. The whole, the most bourgeois people of China in the last century, and that whole Shanghai's vibe, how Shanghai people look at, because it's the most commercialized and also internationalized place of mainland China for the last century. the overall way of looking at life and everything from the local Shanghai people is very unique. They have this very unique quality that is different from everything else and everybody else from the country. And often we joke about the Shanghai local people are in their own kingdom. It's like their Shanghai is a country. Or they view everybody from the rest of China as somebody from a different country. Even though it's the same country, but Shanghai people are so unique. And a lot of that is not on the surface, and they're probably not consciously aware of that either. But then when certain things happen, it reflects back and you realize like the Shanghai people have this overall, they have their own bubble that they consider to be very proud to have that as theirs. And all the outsiders from other people's otherwhere in China don't get them and are different. So they consider you as the other. And this is a very strong Shanghai thing. It gets diluted quite a lot these days in the 2020s. The younger people, because younger generations are growing up in a very different environment. Also, a lot of outsiders are coming into Shanghai. So Shanghai's actual local grown generations ago till now, people are smaller number now than all the outpouring population from all around China in Shanghai. Therefore, these days when you walk on Shanghai street, your default language is not Shanghai dialect, it's Mandarin. They wouldn't really expect you to speak Shanghai dialect. Particularly like the younger you look, you're not supposed to speak Shanghai dialect more. If you're an old guy, you know, like you look like 70 years old, you speak Shanghai dialect, everybody is like, yeah. But if you look like you're 20-year-old, even when you're actually local Shanghai person, you open your mouth, the first thing you say is Mandarin. And that's how it's now. But back in the 90s, it still was very, very Shanghai. And I unfortunately have all my relatives on my father's side actually all in Shanghai. And sometimes I don't see them for years. I go back and I talk to them. After a long enough conversation, you can start to sense that whole, again, it's like because they grow up in Shanghai, they're local Shanghai people, then that the under the surface layer bubbling idea of Shanghai-ness and Shanghai being a place of its own instead of part of China starts to come up. And you notice that in very subtle expressions and very subtle ways of looking at things. And you know, they're your relatives, but sometimes you think, okay, ignore that. They're your relatives. You need to deal with them for the rest of your life. Just like ignore that. It's so specific, but that makes me enjoy Blossoms quite a lot because it's just, you don't see another drama like this in Chinese dramaland that's in a dialect that's so specific about Shanghai. It's so not about reality Shanghai in 1990s. But then in another way, it actually takes the essence of the Shanghai-ness out and amplifies it quite a lot. So to the very sensitive people who watch this drama, you probably will get that vibe. I'm enjoying it a lot, but I wouldn't recommend it to everybody. It's a very hard to get into drama, Blossoms. And it's not easy to watch. The camera movement is quite actually disturbing for looking at it on a small screen and constantly for 30 episodes. It probably will make you throw up. You probably need to watch 2 episodes, take a break. Watch 2 episodes, take a break. Just because how it's doing all the movements that are, you just don't see in any dramas. Wang Jiawei is filming it not as a drama, and he doesn't care what is the medium consumption, like a small screen. He doesn't care what's the tradition of mainland China's drama telling, how you tell a story. He completely just does it in his own way, a very artist thing. So it's unique, but it's not that easy to watch. So that's me general idea about the Blossoms. And if you're Wang Kai-wei fan, oh sure, you should watch it. No problem with that. Like no question about that. WeTV, does it have? If it's on WeTV, it will have English sub, because WeTV is international platform. So if Blossom is on there, it will have. Changxiangsi, we shall wait till we see when it comes out. Again, I don't see why Tencent wouldn't put it out now, because it's already half a year, and they are like passing that whole period where you have to hold down for like at least 4 months before you air the second half. So technically, it should be good now. Let's see when it's gonna show up. For Lost You Forever, not a huge fan of the drama, but if for the second half, okay, I'm definitely gonna click in to check basically how Xiangliu dies. I am such a psycho, but really that's the only thing I look forward to in the second half of Lost You Forever. Is like his great white wig and how Tan Jianci plays him when he is just gonna get speared through, just like Ning Yuanzhou. Bloody death, bloody pretty death. Okay, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to. As a psycho Chinese drama reviewer for Lost You Forever, second part, only part, I am waiting to see. I don't know how many people are like me, but that's the only thing I look forward to for Lost You Forever. Whenever they show that, I will. It's pretty. I think it's pretty reasonable, right? Like otherwise, why you watch those type of dramas? Hi, person from Sri Lanka. It's still a couple of hours to Chinese. Hour, 2 hour, half hour to like 2024. What else should we talk about? Any dramas going on right now that you want me to talk about? We are already an hour and a half live. Today we're not gonna. I'm not gonna do this too long. Like not running into 12:30. No. We're gonna end this relatively early and have everybody to your New Year's celebration. It's not on WeTV, huh? So maybe did Fanhua get sold to another platform outside China? I mean, usually that's the only reason why it's not on Tencent's own platform. It would be like they've sold it copyright to another foreign platform, Netflix, HBO, whatever, and then they wouldn't put it out on WeTV itself. Because I don't see why Wang Jiawei wouldn't, like, I don't see why this drama wouldn't really go international. It's so for international, and there are so many international fans, you know, cinema fans of Wang Kaiwei's stuff, strangely, but not strangely. There are like avid fans I know for Wang Jiawei's stuff, who are totally not Chinese. So maybe they are finding other distributors outside of China, therefore it's not on WeTV. But again, for dramas, if you really want to watch them, there are so many places you can watch them. Yeah, it's a very different looking drama than every other drama in Chinese drama, for sure. Oh, and the Mutations went live yesterday. I said it already earlier during this live stream that it's watchable, but it's a bit... It's an alien story set in Ming Dynasty. Just imagine Ridley Scott running to Luoyang. So you have a Ming Dynasty Jing Yiwei, embroidered uniform guard, running into extra... It's like what aliens, basically aliens, yes. At least it looks like that now. I don't know if at the end they're gonna twist it and say it's not. It's just some man-made whatever trick. But so far it's like a physical, real monster people fight that definitely is not from Earth. So. Okay, let me look at the chat. My software is so weird. It doesn't update things. Ugh, come who don't speak Mandarin. You just watch the actor's mouth. If the sound fits the mouth exactly, it's the Shanghai dialect version. If the mouth and the sound doesn't go together, it's the dubbed one. That's the easiest way for you to tell. Because they filmed it in Shanghai dialect original. And then they dubbed everything when they need it. Therefore, you can tell. Like the mouth movement often does not really fit 100% with the sound you hear. Therefore, that's the dubbed version. It's Mandarin. The overall sounding more elegant, less dramatic, less passionate, less screamy one would be the Mandarin one. And the sound that just makes Huge looks more 小开would be the dialect one. It's so hard to describe. Again, if Huge sounds too well educated and too proper, he's in Mandarin. If he sounds more than this, he's in Shanghai dialect. It's the only way I can put it. And they sound very different. And also their vocabulary is very different. And there's certain like words I don't even hear that much these days, and I heard them say, and I was like laughing so much. Such as change, like the money, you know, like coins. It's in Mandarin will be 零钱, right? 硬币零钱. It sounds very normal. In Shanghai dialect, it's gozi, gozi, gozi. And I'm like, I heard Huge say that in one of the episodes when he says like, I want some like gozi. I laughed so much because even for like Shanghai people, they don't really use that word that much these days. But the moment he said that, I'm like, immediately situate you in that space. So things that sounds less elegant and more having more sort of that energy is the Shanghai dialect version. Zhou, I don't know, like she's pretty busy. She's like always shooting stuff or not shooting stuff. Then she's at events, and then Shenying is still going on. Is it? Hasn't finished? Has it? I'm not following. Signing off. Or for people who are signing off, hi, bye, Happy New Year, Elizabeth. Happy New Year. I didn't catch that. Narratively, how would you rate 怪侠一之美? I honestly don't remember much of it now. I've definitely watched it when it was first airing. I remember Tony Yap played a cameo, like she showed up in the beginning and she died. I remember the look of Huo Jinhua. I remember Ma Tianyu. I remember a lot of fighting scenes with Liu Shishi. And I remember there's one scene like she got like stringed up like in this room that's like all connected to like bombs or something. I have those memories. But in terms of the whole story, I forgot like 90% of it. So I have to rewatch it now to actually like remember. I'm pretty sure once I start watching, I'm okay, that part I remember that part. But it's been too long, and I've only watched it once that many years ago. So it's kind of very faded now. I just have those couple of scenes in my head. And then that's probably it. 怪侠一之美, yeah. Pretty old. It's been that many years. Let's hope there will be good dramas. Yes, I hope that too. Old generation, best actors, old generation. If you want to get the master of line delivery, I'd say Feng Yuanzheng, Wang Zhiwen, Chen Dangming, probably. So the guy who's the scary guy who's domestic violence representation in China, he is also he's actually in theater. He's one of them holding a major position in a major theater person these days, Feng Yuanzheng. He teaches line delivery to people, like properly at academic schools. Then Wang Zhiwen, the old guy now who is in a lot of espionage dramas as the mentor to the male lead and then dies. Probably the latest, most well-known one is the rebel, like Zhu Yilong. Zhu Yilong, that one. He is the old guy. So Wang Zhiwen's lines are known to be so good. Okay, like these are professor level line delivery people. Younger people, you have, I mean, even like when you think about the guy Wang Renjun who plays Mao Zedong in the Wen Cangmang right now on Youku and Mango, Forerunner, when he plays Mao, his line is very good. And also for this particular role, he needs to be good. And he has like poetry reciting. Obviously, in reality, Mao has a Hunan accent, and he always had it his whole life. But this drama, because most of the dramas produced these days require you to speak standard Mandarin, he does it pretty well. I've watched not everything in the drama, but parts of it I'm like, And he does it in the very old school proper way. Not very popular among young actors these days now. They tend to make it sound more daily and more for 21st century contemporary, whereas he is playing a historical figure who was set in 100 years ago. So the actor Wang Renjun would change that. The way he speaks it sounds a little bit more traditional, like not so contemporary, but very proper. Okay? You cannot make it perfect, right? Because he's playing somebody who's so that's like a really, really proper way of saying lines. For the young generation actress who would be really good at line delivery, Zhang Ruoyun is pretty good. Zhang Ruoyun, yeah, he's among the ones I would say who have like almost no really big problems anywhere. For girls, who has the best line delivery? That's a tricky one. A lot of people are okay, but then if you have to pick, you can still pick things, like they're not always perfect. But most of the properly trained from acting school and probably have many years of experience already since they were little actresses are good enough. You can throw names out. Chen Kun's Mandarin. How about Chen Kun's Mandarin to learn from? Generally speaking, okay, occasionally slipping up. He slips up. In that situation, he's pretty close to Luo Yunxi, where they're both from Sichuan region, and they also all have that sound position. Like here, how they speak, it sounds a little bit lower than the normal Mandarins. And it's just because Sichuan dialect is naturally lower. It's closer to English than Mandarin. They tend to slip very occasionally, both of them. Like you can still hear that little bit Sichuan touch. But then again, it's because I am from Chongqing, so I am very familiar with Chongqing's dialect. I can capture that little bit not Mandarin thing that if you're not from Chongqing, then you probably cannot tell at all. From other places of China, if you speak perfect Mandarin, but you're not from Chongqing, so you listen to Luo Yunxi and Chen Kun's Mandarin, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that they're not doing it perfectly. But then because I'm from Chongqing, they speak a whole paragraph like long enough, occasionally, like it's just like one character and two, I'm like, I see the touch of Chongqing and Sichuan accent, but it's very minor, very minor. Wouldn't really affect anything. And it's more to do with how the overall flow of a sentence or paragraph. It's not even sometimes to a specific character. It's just that tonal thing. Or also the position, like where the sound comes from. It's not as crispy and high and like forward. Because Mandarin is very frontal sounding. Whereas Chongqing dialect is much like lower and on the back. Best way to put it. So wouldn't create a problem for you to really listen to his properly produced dramas. But occasionally, I can hear it. It's like Liu Yuning's lines are not so good either, but compared to a lot of actors, he's already better. Weird isn't it? Like, he's not professionally trained. So again, if you want to pick it apart, every line he speaks, you can pick, oh, that line is a little bit problematic. That you can see here the Dongbei accent start to slip in, particularly shorter, like those shorter, very having a lot of emotion in, quick question, quick exclamation word. You hear the Dongbei tone, the very dropping and droopy tone coming into his Mandarin. But it's not always there. Wouldn't create a huge problem if you like listen to that and say, okay, if I can learn from that, yes, you can, but there are better choices. Maybe he practices another 2 years and he will be much better than this. But so far, he's already a lot better than himself. Like, he's one of those actors I would say actually has improved a lot in line delivery, Liu Yuning, compared to the day one when he was in Dramaland and now. Whereas a lot of actors, they are there for over 10 years and not even one step forward. Okay, that's the situation in Chinese Dramaland. There are people who haven't moved one step forward. Oh. Wonderland of Love, I watched parts of it and then I dropped out. Okay, I don't connect with Jin Tian and Xu Kai's CP. I think one big reason is it's dubbed and it's so familiar, dubbed voice. It lacks that raw quality. At least like one of them should be real. Therefore, he probably can get into it better, but both of them are dubbed and they also both look too clean and perfect. Jin Tian and Xu Kai. Their facial expression, they're both completely perfect almost all the moments. Like, it becomes too good to have real, like, there's no raw quality. Like, it's just like very presentable. It's not bad. And a couple of episodes I've watched, I can accept. And I think it's acceptable period drama quality these days, but I don't get anything. Like, there's zero emotional reaction. I get better, like a stronger emotional reaction to like Ning Yuanzhou and Yu Shisan. Like these two. Like, I get a better chemistry between these two, even though they don't have that many scenes together in Yin Guanshan. Then say the whole thing of Wonderland of Love. I'm looking at two very pretty people who are actually not doing a bad job, but somehow it doesn't work on me. Zero visceral reaction. Tan Jianzi is pretty good too. For the guys, he has a very low, right, voice and quite different from his face. You look at Tan Jianzi's face, you're like, cute boy, and then you listen to him talk. I'm like, oh. Huge question. He has a totally different voice as compared to his face, and he's pretty good too. Interestingly enough, he's also not from an acting school. He's a dancer. I'd say basically he has talent with voice. That's how I would put it, because he sings, and although he's trained in dancing professionally, he's not trained in voice performance. And over the years, he has first thing he learned dancing when he was young in Beijing, so that he has years of living in a close to Mandarin sort of language environment. So he doesn't need like extra effort to actually work on the Mandarin that much. And then he has a pretty good sense of rhythm, emphasis, how you switch your voice quality to, like, because when he sings, he switches his voice quality for different songs, you can tell. For certain songs, he will use a different way of singing than the other. So this person naturally knows how to play with the vocals and muscles to create characters. And that's just something that he has, like a talent, I'd say. So he's pretty good at line delivery too. And also he really just does it for different, he designed it for his different characters. And he would speak in very different quality, although it's the same person's voice. So 谭健次 is pretty good too. Yeah. Unless Shukai is in a contemporary drama, then he's dubbed like 99% of the time. Period dramas, really, Shukai cannot do it himself. It's gonna be like similar to Wang Hedi effect. Like you're gonna laugh. You can't control that. So, Zhang Bingbing is okay, I'd say, but I wouldn't say he's exceptionally good. He's acceptable, like sort of standard professional actor who got trained in an acting school level. I don't think he's like he stands out much with his line delivery, but definitely qualified. Vocal quality wise, right? Very unique sounding or good sounding wise, I'd say that's harder to come by, and it completely comes from your natural sounding. You have it or not. For actors who have very impressive natural sort of voice, obviously Wang Kai, Tan Jianci is one too. Not just because I like those lower voices, but also just because very recognizable. Like at the instant you hear it, you know it's this person speaking. It's never gonna mix them with other people. Huang Xuan as well. Huang Xuan. So Mutations, if you're watching it right now, or other dramas he's been in, or like there's a person who's gonna rewatch Legend of Demon Cat, so Huang Xuan also is very, very good as a guy. Yeah, obviously as a guy. I'm not saying any girls, not because they're not good, because I am a straight woman, so I don't notice women's voices. I hear them and they disappear. I recognize them, but I don't remember. And like, I don't care, honestly. It does not work on me, basically. So I yeah. It's only the male voices that I care about. Sorry. So not offering you that many good examples. Wang Kai, Tan Jianci, Huang Xuan, the younger ones who have a good line delivery but also have very good voice quality. Zhang Xingcheng is also okay, yes. But he's not my type. So I don't have such a strong reaction, but his line delivery is okay. Xu Zhengxi has, yes, a very gorgeous voice, but his line delivery is not good enough. He models things up. So quality-wise, oh yeah, that's some very good male voice, but he needs training, and I don't think he's doing that. Wu Lei is so-so. Sorry if you're a huge fan of that. His voice, I think he's like enough for working his contemporary idol dramas. But if he wants to push to more serious and tougher to do stuff, also needs working. Honest opinion. But not bad, okay. Definitely not like the type of like you need to get a teacher sorted out. He can improve, right? But it's enough for now for using it. But there's rooms for improvement. Xin, narrator of the Phoenix. I have no idea who that is. Zhou Xun. Yeah, Zhou Xun has very incredible... Like, she's the only lady who has that kind of voice and still can make it just so... Okay, she's the type of person who has the genius of knowing how to play with the voice sound, but her Mandarin is actually not perfect, but you don't care. That's one of those rare people where her Mandarin is constantly wrong, actually, but you don't care about that at all because the way she can play with the emotion in her lines is just like... Zhou Xun. Her Mandarin has the problem where, because she comes from south of China, Zhejiang, I think, and she has the problem of dropping all the G at the sound. So all the nasal, like, she drops them. She constantly drops them in her lines. She doesn't have other problems. She just drops all the NG. She changes all the NG into N. For example, 杀青 She would say 杀青. She would say 青 instead of 青. That sound she doesn't do. 90% of the time, she will drop them completely. And you don't mind. And like that's her magic. Zhou Xun's magic is you don't hear the 后鼻音, but you don't care. Chen Xingxu actually is not bad, but his voice quality is a bit like dragging it for him. But you can't do anything. You're just born with that quality. Chen Xingxu's sound is very deep and very. We call like we joke about him sounding like a ox. The voice is very here, so it doesn't have the clarity. His vocal quality is actually not bad, but I think it's the space. His chest and his like nasal voice, like this space kind of gets too much of a resonance. He speaks so much through his nose. Chen Xingxu. So it tends to make him sound a little bit too heavy and old and big for the actual size of him. Although he's very tall, but you know, like his voice comes out and you think, what? It's like 10 years older or 15 years older than he what actually looks like because he's very here. Wang Yibo's line delivery. Has he done that many acting where he speaks himself? That's the thing. I haven't heard like an extensive big things that completely is done by himself. Period dramas he gets dubbed. Yeah. So I don't have like a strong impression of what he sounds like really. He doesn't speak. He's not a particularly chatty person, you know? Like when you interview him, he's like answer in 2 characters and stop. So it's hard to actually try to remember what he sounds like, Wang Yibo. It's actually hard. Now I realize I can't quite remember what he sounds like. Wen Qi is a really great actress, but in terms of line delivery, I don't think anything special. Like outstandingly different. She's a good actress though, for sure. If I have to go through everybody's line delivery, I'm gonna just like 得罪 so many people. On the last live stream of 2023, I'm just gonna 得罪 the entirety of Chinese drama land. And who am I? Who am I to judge? Honestly, I'm not qualified for that. I'm not teaching line delivery at all. I personally am not a profession, no. And also, like if I have to do actual professional work of voice acting, I would need to warm up. Like I would give myself a week to half a month time to literally read the newspaper and train the muscles because I don't do it daily. So my muscles are lazy. I don't really talk in the most proper way all the time. Then if I have to actually go and do work, I would have to set aside half a month to warm it up. Otherwise my muscles don't know where to go. Zhou Xun, Chen Kun, yeah, they have a training school. Yes, they have an acting school. A lot of people are signed to her acting school. Minglan, a Minglan recommendation. What do you mean? Yeah, Mandarin is okay. It's just like nothing special if you have to say like she's super good at it or voice quality exceptional. No. Xiao Zhan is normal. Yeah, I dare not really comment on anything he does. The world is crazy around him. So I'm just like I dodge. I walk around him like I have no right to talk about him. Let me just read. Wang Shengdi is also okay, but she's so young, right? You need her to actually grow to like full. She's still growing. Her vocal cord is still growing. Not yet settled. She's like what? Teenager right now? Yes, when she lives in Suzhou, I think, for most of the time. Yang Yang's line delivery is also it's not too bad, but sometimes he also talks in ways you can't make out what he's saying. but not too bad. Okay, compared to like a lot worse people, he's not bad. But Yang Yang's biggest problem is not in his voice, it's in his body. And his facial expression. Jawline. Like, I can kill you with my jaw. My chin. And yeah, Yang Yang's problem is with his back. It's like that all the time. Yang Yang's problem is in his spine, not in his voice. He's just worried about his, like, when he gets old, you know, like his spine is gonna give him problem because he over straightens it to the point where, like, his whole rib cage is gonna be misplaced. So like in space, it's just not in the real ergonomic way. Yeah. Wang Chuan, yeah, Wang Chuan's voice is pretty nice. Her line delivery is also okay. Like, and her basic acting is actually not problematic at all. But everything that people don't like her about comes from actually not her acting. You know, it's like everything outside of actually acting as an actress that people have a problem with. Yang Yang, thinking about that, day one when he entered the industry. Weird, isn't it? Somehow I was there. Like, how did that happen? I guess like you just never thought or at the time, you don't know who was gonna be big. So the people who actually ended up being famous in the whole during the casting process or of the whole Hong Long Meng is Yang Yang, Li Qin, who come to the top, I'd say. Yeah, who came to close to top. Yang Yang, Li Qin, Huang Xuan. Weirdly enough, he was like so sidelined. He played a tiny role in Hong Long Meng. And now he's like on a totally different level of actors than all the other actors who came out of Hong Long Meng. Zhao Liying. Okay, so Zhao Liying, Yang Yang, Li Qin, Huang Xuan. These 4 people climbed out of Hong Long Meng and become sort of like, you know, tier 1 or close to tier 1, or like entered a different zone of acting. So it's weird. You never know, you know, like we are looking at the 2010 Hong Long Meng, which was like actually started its casting process back in end of 2007. They started to look at people and picking, and didn't really confirm everyone until spring 2008. And from then on, we have all those people in the drama, and the biggest star who came out of it, Zhao Liying, was actually tiny role. Like she's in like what? Episode or 2 and a couple of scenes, and she's like so minor a role that yeah, you don't realize she's in it. Basically, she's like 99% of the time not in Hong Long Meng. Yet she ended up being, I don't think it's arguable, right? Like she's the biggest star so far in Dramaland. And then it will be Yang Yang. And Huang Xuan kind of is big too, but Huang Xuan is in a different zone. He's never an idol. He ended up being, he also was a tiny role, and then he ended up mostly in independent movies to start his sort of whole acting career and got noticed, and then moved to more mainstream stuff. But every time when he is like, even in crappy mainstream dramas, he never actually lost a host of like people's preference to him, to put him into really big and proper and big scale stuff, and not really regarding him in any way as a traffic actor. Huang Xuan just never was a traffic actor, right? He was in a lot of things, but somehow nobody ever thought of him as the popular traffic actor. Interesting. because it's not probably not your native language, so the names will be difficult to remember. Zhao Liying. I don't think you need me to like tell you who she is. Everybody can tell. she's top tier 1 actress. Yang Yang also. Huang Xuan is Demon Cat and Mutations right now. Li Qing, everybody also knows, right? Like these couple are probably who have made it big. Then you have like second tier who are not so active now, but still have a lot of things to do these days. And then I wouldn't consider Yang Mi as a person who comes out of it, because she was signed to Rosat when the drama was filming. So she basically is an employee in a way to like the company that's making the drama at the time. And she has this long-term relationship with Li Shaohong and Li Xiaowan. So I don't consider her as somebody who, you know, who comes out from Hong Lou Meng. She's more like, I'm just doing a route because my boss tells me. And then I have other signed contract with other dramas I'm making at the same time. And what made Yang Mi famous is not Hong Lou Meng. She just happens to be playing one role in the drama. So I don't put her on the whole list of. Whereas Li Qing, Yang Yang, Zhao Liyin, pretty much that's their first, or not first, but like before that they're not known at all kind of situation. Where Yang Mi already is known. She's already in things before the whole Hong Lou Meng happened. Yeah, Li Qing is the Chu Qiao's like the princess. And she's also joy of life. Chicken thigh girl. Hey, Zhao Liying. Yang Mi. Again, Yang Mi, I don't put, like, she's not really from Hong Lou Meng. She's in other things long before Hong Lou Meng, and she got famous way before Hong Lou Meng. But Zhao Liying was like almost like unheard of right before that. So every drama is different, so you're not sure who is deciding the casting. So usually directors, they have casting directors, they go and search for people. Then producer comes in. If the producer is sort of in a way representing or also telling the directors, we are investors. Because dramas in China usually have investors. And investors are the person who's paying the money. So they often have influence on, for example, they have their own sweetheart they want to squeeze into the drama to play a supporting role or something. Then they would influence in terms of, they would say, I have this person, she is like this age wise, whatever, do you think like there's a place, you know, she or him right? That's suitable? And they will pick somebody that they think, some role that can be done by the 带资金组 person. And then, so for a drama, depending on what your structure is. Say if the production company, right, it's just using its own money, it's not getting any outside influences. They're just like, I have the money, I'm gonna. Then they are gonna decide it on their own, like depending on the company's own sort of like selection. Casting director, producer may sit down together. If there's a major money source that's influencing, then they have a say in that. So different projects are different. You can't tell which one is which unless you work behind the scene. I've seen, like during Hong Lou Meng, I've seen so many epic things behind the scene about who got picked and why. And you're just like, holy shit, what am I? Like, why is this business this? And then you realize the whole business is this. And one of the reasons I didn't continue working in the industry is I am just so, like, there's so many things that happens constantly that just like bombards you with the moral question of what the heck are people doing? Literally, as a normal person, right, who comes from a normal background, who is not, you don't grow up in gangster groups, you're not surrounded by drugs and prostitutes. You're just like normal city folks, right? Living day-to-day wage earner life, parents, kids. And you end up in this industry and you're just like, everywhere you turn, you're like, and behind the closed doors, and sometimes not even closed doors, it's just in office, people discuss things about this and that, and they're like talking it so normally, like it's just go downstairs and buy a sandwich, that level of normalness. But then the things they're talking about are so you're like, oh, holy shit, what the heck. So the business is very business, and it's entertainment. It's just like no end and nothing you can imagine, and nothing that you know cannot happen, and it usually happens beyond your imagination of how over the top and 离谱 things are in this industry. 12 hours to go. Well, we also have like about 12 hours to go. Yes, fandom, sure, it influences, particularly like depending on what project you are. If you are the type of project that totally is in the game for money, like you're in it to 割韭菜, obviously you're gonna pick the people who are gonna 割韭菜 for you. harvest. Right. So depending on what type of project you are. And then there are projects that would not consider that at all, such as like a Forerunner. Right, we're making a story about Mao Zedong, so like who cares about who has fandom? So depending on what project it is. Yami is in the industry earlier, and she got famous earlier. She has like a child, basically she's a child star, because Yami is in the industry since she was like 4 or 5. Zhao Liying is like much later. So Yami would be a more established, got famous through the more traditional route actress, although they're very similar in age. Yeah. So Yami was already in business for years before Zhao Liying showed up. No really ugly people, yeah. Apart from a couple who are in comedy that you don't really mind if they look this and that. I'm gonna go away for a couple of minutes. I will be back, and then we're gonna tie this up. Let's just finish it by 12. Hi, I'm back. So let's just finish this in 20 minutes, and if we can end it on 12, it'll be just like Happy New Year for people who have 12 hours time difference from me. Raven White one. Oh, right, with Raven. The other day I was walking on the street and I ran into 3 ravens who are having a meeting on 3 different trees. They literally were talking like humans, and I was like watching them. And there's a squirrel like also watching them. It's funny. So Chinese dramas are just like what it is now, and in January we're probably gonna get quite a few new ones airing, leading up to Spring Festival this year. Let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, that 刘慈欣 sci-fi 球状闪电. When is that one gonna air? I think it's long finished production. It's led by Wang Anyu and Tong Yao. Just remembered. I haven't seen anything about that one, and I really am curious too, like what it looks like. The Liu Cixin's ball lightning, and also there was something. Oh, recently, the director Zheng Xiaolong just announced that they're working on the re-editing of《甄嬛传》. And they are aiming at releasing the full version, which supposedly is 93 episodes long. So the one you have now is the 2011 one that's 76 episodes. They cut off 17 episodes from it. So originally, it's 93. And Zheng Xiaolong is saying they are working on a re-edit, and depending on how many episodes of the re-edit can go through censorship, they want to release the full freaking version. And I'm like, oh my god. I am more interested and excited about this over 10-year-old drama getting 17 more episodes than any new dramas right now. And I was like, wow, this is like better than any new dramas, right? That's announcing we're gonna come out. I'm like, can we just see the 甄嬛传 version? Like, give me the 93 episodes version of 甄嬛传, okay? So, because he was talking about this at a public event, somebody interviewed him, and also the actor Li Dongxue, who played Guqin Wang, also mentioned that the full version is actually 93 episodes. And there's a huge chunk of story that got cut out. One is happening at the temple, the other is happening after Huan Bi married him. So in his home, in his Wangfu, the 2 wives, the stories, all the ups and downs, like that all got cut out. So Lan Yiying has a lot of moments in the drama that are completely cut out. That's in Guo Zili's, that's in Guo Junwang's household. That's so exciting. And I'm like, oh my god, if that's gonna happen, I'm gonna be so happy. This is like 2024 best thing. 2024 best thing is 17 more episodes of 甄嬛传. You know, 甄嬛传 has been 翻烂了 by everybody in Dramaland. You know how many people on Bilibili these days are still putting out content analyzing this drama? Even till 2023, new accounts got built to just talk about 甄嬛传. No kidding. Every year you see a couple of new content creators who come out of China, like Bilibili, talking about dramas, are literally talking about 甄嬛传. And minute by minute, second by second, analyzing. And still, instantly, when they put out content, there are people watching, and there are new like people subscribing and comments. It's insane. It's 12 years later. It's a whole round of zodiac animals that have gone through. And still, you can actually earn money, traffic money, by making content on 甄嬛传. Like, that's like what a great drama can do, is over 10 years time still producing copyright money for Youku, still getting traction. And, you know, like, no other dramas can do this. It's just incredible. Maybe they should release the 4K. Because when they were shooting it, right, there wasn't 4K. So I don't know like what's the highest resolution they can have. But I don't know. They can release the highest raw version. And then the extra 17 episodes. I'm gonna be so happy if that happens. So that's the most exciting thing, really, about Dramaland, and how pathetic that is, right? For the last decade, really, like we're still looking at something that's 12 years old, and no new thing can beat it, even coming close. You know, like every year, because Youku bought its copyright just by replaying 甄嬛传 and the ads in between the episodes, Youku gets constant, stable income. I think it counts up to like tens of millions of RMB every year, just because they have 甄嬛传, and people are watching and looping them when they're doing house cleaning. That Youku still gets tens of millions of RMB every year just because that many ad money can be put into 甄嬛传. Now, 2023. Holy. So, big IP coming next year. Joy of Life 2, probably the highest profile one we have. And then I hope they start shooting Newvarden Fire 3. They still haven't started shooting, but I'm like, really 正午阳光? You're like really, maybe just get it started 2024, just shoot it. I mean, I can wait till 2025 to see it, but come on. Move. 杀破狼, all the BL ones are like, yeah, if one comes out, the other can. But if one doesn't, then no other can. And if you cut out all the thing is, even if you cut out all the guy thing, because its original work is a clear BL, that's the problem. Now it's like, if there's no original thing to go off on, and you actually play the guy thing, if it's not too over the top, nobody cares. Like, think about iQIYI. Ever since the ban of BL, how many dramas they've put out that are playing the guy thing? And because it doesn't have original thing to go off on, and it's not BL, and they're not selling it, you go ship it yourself. We don't care. They have it perfectly. iQIYI is the one platform that knows what they're doing. Because apart from all the things that clearly has a BL original work, they have put out so many other dramas completely unrelated to BL. But hey, everybody's shipping. Even in freaking Knockout, people ship so many different guy relationship. Like at the beginning of this year, do you remember? Like it's so ridiculous. Like they pair up every guy with another guy and shipping it on China's internet like crazy. And then you have like Under the Skin. You have the iQIYI International produced Oh No, Here Comes Trouble. It's like, that is not obvious that what you're trying to do. It's like, yeah, it's totally not BL. We're not doing it at all. Who says it's BL? Do it, ship it yourself. And then we just like put the two male leads together in one frame all the time. Okay, yeah, okay. So, iQIYI, 流量密码. iQIYI knows exactly like how to play this. We're not going to adapt any existing BL novels now. We're just going to put out crime dramas, put out like mystery dramas, put out whatever dramas that seemingly has nothing to do with it, and it's all led by proper mid-age actors sometimes, and yet it's like CP, all CP. Even in 一念关山, come on. Like at the beginning when Yu Shisan showed up, like the way they like the way like Liu Yuning and Fang Yilun look at each other, I'm like, oh come on, like really slow motion and the fan blowing and the light comes from the back, and I was like, ooh, that kind of look. They have a couple more scenes in the drama that is so just have like, yeah, ship it, okay? We were a BG drama, but then occasionally just like stop for 1 second and ship two guys. So now, like from now, like, you know, like we can do covert BL so easily, really. It's like, as long as you don't have an original thing to go off, and you're not still not selling it, nobody's mentioning it, but it's like in the drama itself, go and watch it. So in a way, you can never delete BL, okay? Because it can happen anywhere, anytime. Like BL, GL, I mean, whatever. Girls shipping is also like in so many dramas, right? It's not explicit, but hey, it's there. Ten minutes to go, hey. Immortality before you die. Maybe just like hope somebody stole the hard drive and leak it. And these days, it's like really, if you can put it on internet, leak it, then it's there forever. It's out there forever, right? You just need one person to do that. Secretly upload it to like some kind of outside of China platform, got discovered by one person, just copy it down and distribute, and it's done. Obviously, it's not gonna happen because for the actual copyright holder, you're gonna get into lawsuit. But I'm just saying, if one day the company becomes irrelevant and they actually bankrupt, and all their stuff gets gets taken, I don't know, like by whatever, and then gets auctioned off or sold off, and one just like little like policeman who comes out of nowhere and just happens to run into all the stuff that goes into evidence locker, and there's like a hard drive, and put it in and see what it's in. Oh, that's actually the final cut of Immortality. Let's just upload it to internet. Anything can happen these days. We're living in this age where, you know, God knows what's gonna happen. So as long as there is a copy of this thing existing somewhere, if time is long enough and we all live long enough, even if there's just 0.1% possibility of it ever happening, it will. Yeah, just depending on who gets it, and when it happens and how it happens, that will be interesting. You know, like even till today, I'm just like one of those. There are a couple of hard drives on the stove, right? One is all the special features that's in the locker of the company that produced Guardian. Also, yeah, the whatever company is holding the hard drive of the finished cut of Shangpo maybe like Chase the Light is also like Wang Anyu and Fan Chengcheng Wan. Like these three for me are hard drive of my dream list. So let's see when that's gonna happen. So exercise, people, eat well for the new year, right? Like take care of your health and live as long as possible. It would be sad if Immortality airs one day after you die. You know? So like in order to prevent that from happening, most important thing for now for everyone is to just stay healthy. And also the thing is, yeah, if you have enough connections, you probably can get anything. So I guess, or for any of you people who are here happen to be like watching this live stream, get uber rich for whatever reason. Just like get a lottery. Get uber rich. Once you have money, you can get anything. It's true. It's like once you get money, it's like I don't want a Ferrari. I don't want a plane. I don't want any of that. I'm just like, find me somebody who finds somebody who finds somebody who finds that company and their locker and get the hard drive. And you have a home theater to screen that just for yourself as the only person outside of the crew who actually has seen that. That would be like, ooh. Become uber rich or uber powerful, then you can do anything. Dramas, what? That's nothing. You can't watch any dramas. Isn't it? Is it like Obama or somebody who read the translated version of Three Body before everybody else? Is it? I think that's a legit story that actually. Hi, thank you. Krivital for your super chat. Is it true? Because I remember there's something like American president who got the translated Three Body before everybody else because he can't wait. See, power can get you that. And finally, recently I've been watching the Korean dramas, like I said in a weekly video, waiting for them to finish airing. I'm actually really curious to see how these two dramas are gonna end. One is high romance, has a fantasy element. The other is just like, we have gone crazy, let's just kill everyone. And then, you know, when I was watching Death Game, the Korean drama that has aired 4 episodes and will air the next 4 on January the 5th. When I was watching that, the thing, Cynthia Franklin, thank you for a super chat. There's one thing that I laughed so much about the nature of that K-drama, if you haven't watched it, Death Game, is that drama, even if all the death and ghosts and hell and element can happen on Chinese drama, which is impossible, but even if that can happen, under today's fandom, hijacking everything, circumstances in China, that drama will never get made. Because they need a relatively young actor to play a male lead, who usually would be the traffic actor. But this guy's fandom is gonna blow up because our Guqin is the main lead, yet he's a guest star of his own drama. He shows up for 2 minutes in every episode, then he dies and it becomes another person. It's a little boy, it's an older guy, it's any other man playing him. And those are all very good actors. They all play it very good, but it's like he does not show up. Our Guqin as the male lead doesn't show up in his drama. Oh my god. He gets used by Capital. And all the other actors and the production company is 蹭热度, is rubbing off our Guqin's popularity. They just imagine, like, if it's a Chinese drama, what kind of like hate wave it's gonna get on China's internet, and how ridiculous the whole thing is gonna have. Like, oh my god. So Death Game, the type of, we actually have a male lead character, but he is everybody else. He's played by everybody else. And yet his story is still so engaging. It's never gonna happen to Chinese drama land, as of now. They can't even deal with the fact that female lead has 1 minute less screen time than the male lead in one episode, I guess, like, for the whole drama, where the male lead is a guest star. So, as I was watching Death Game, I was laughing so much because of this one point that exists outside of the drama space. I'm like, wow, great acting of everybody. And even the male lead, when he actually isn't, right, always on screen, he's so good. Everybody is so good. The story is so engaging, and it's like badass, at least up to episode 4. Let's see in the next one, 4, if it's gonna work. But I was like laughing so much. Not gonna happen to Chinese drama land now. Even if you have a similar script that has this structure, nobody's gonna play it. Or even if an actor wants to play it, his fandom is not gonna allow him to play it. The fandom is like, Guqin, don't go. This Capital, like this investment company, whatever. They just want to rub off your popularity. Don't go. And all the other actors in this drama, they're all 资本. Oh god, I'm already laughing so much. Now I'm more interested in this story's ending, but also my demon is I'm just curious to see how this sort of high romance thing in 2023-4 is going to play out. I still think the super high romance golden age of K-drama is not now. Started with, okay, probably reached like absolute high climax in 2013. My Love from the Star. People do still remember 10 years ago, when YSL's lipstick sold out globally because of that drama. There's that one color lipstick that nobody can get in the whole wide world because of My Love from the Star. Tell me which drama has done that after. It's like monumental, and Goblin is great, but I don't think Goblin is like as hot as My Love from the Star. My Love from the Star literally like made the whole world's supply chain break down because they can't get that one colored lipstick made in enough numbers. Happy New Year to people who are living exactly 12 hours faster than I am. Exactly half a day. A Goblin hasn't achieved that. And Goblin is good, but I think to the type of perfectly balanced high romance, fantasy, comedy, like a huge amount of comedy and super good acting, right? You have all those elements all like put in like a super high romance. I'd say My Love from Star is still like, yeah. It's at that, it's like everything just come together and create it as once thing. And later there are different types of popular dramas, but to have all the elements in place and also like influence everything outside of it so much. Because I remember 2013 was crazy. I was looking at other girls watching this drama during class break, like on their laptop, and it's like the whole studio is like everybody is like on their computer. I'm like, what are you watching? They're all watching this K-drama. And you go to like Sephora, it's like that lipstick is like out of stock for a whole year or something. I just remember that number. Is it 52 or 70? Can't remember exactly the color number, but I remember everywhere people are looking for it. They just cannot get it. It's completely sold out. Those were the days. So let's hope 2024 will have more good dramas. Let's see what's gonna happen in 2024. First year of the fire cycle, 20 years. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah. Couple more minutes and I'll be off. And you should also enjoy if you're still somewhere that still has a little bit of 2023 left. Enjoy the rest of the last day of year 2023. And in case people don't know, because I forgot to mention, but first week I'm gonna be off. I've been doing that for all the years, like a couple of years now, and yeah, I just feel it's not a lucky sign if I'm still working on like this much during the first week of the year. So first week of the you're not gonna see me in my Tuesday and Thursday video, but weekly video is still gonna be here, and then really it's just 1 week, right? Not gonna make too much of a difference. Get your New Year's resolution, new journals book, and set up and do whatever. Focus on your own life. Lipstick 52, thank you. I didn't remember it wrong. I was like 52. Is it 52 or 47? 52. Lipstick 52. And now you look back on that color, nobody is wearing it. It's completely outdated now. Out of fashion. That kind of bright, quite pink color. But back then it was like impossible to get. And now it's like, who is wearing that color? Fashion. It's a cycle. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I'll be here for another 2 minutes and I'll say goodbye somehow. Yeah, there will always be people you don't get. That's normal. I can't get everybody either. Oh, you're still putting in super chat. Thank you, Petit. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Don't wanna. Étoile. Is that star? Is that word star? Vague memory. Maybe I'm wrong. Thank you for super chat. Chinese drama land. Yeah, these days it just has a lot of like really not so qualified professionally people. Little star, yes. 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 French. I still remember those 2 words. Amazing. there are a lot of good-looking people for sure, but then in terms of like actually qualified for their professional job, not that many, unfortunately. It's the honestly speaking these days for Chinese drama, and it's something that happened because of a lot of reasons, but over time I think it's gonna get better. It's really just a result of some very boring but factual sort of like money and economy and development, all those things working together. But eventually it's always going to be quality over time span, right? If you look at a decade or two, or even over this time span of a professional actor's career, eventually what's going to make them remembered is still good work, right? Influential, like Zhen Huanzhuan. It's been out there for 12 years and it's still feeding everybody. And then it's going to be the important, influential works, and overall still how good they are at doing their professional job, right? That's going to eventually, over time, becoming the determinant of the position they have in the industry, sort of at the end of their career when people look back on. It's always going to be that representational work, how many you have and how good they are for actors. Sometimes one person only has one in their lifetime, and it's even that is enough. Sometimes they have multiple, but obviously eventually you still have to have one or two. Otherwise you will be erased by time. Over time you'll disappear. Nobody can help that, and that's just like how it works. Alicia, thank you for your super chat. Happy New Year. Thank you for enjoying my videos. Yeah, fandoms are crazy, so I try to dodge them, but sometimes, you know. Oh, and I've taken down my, like, for this year, I've removed all my watermark of my videos. I just don't like how they look, but so people start to take my videos and put it on Bilibili again. I'm like, come on, seriously, do I always have to like print that on my every video? It's like, don't take it to Bilibili. Eye roll, huge eye roll, but whatever, who cares? I'm too old to care about these things. Whatever, yeah. Just I have decided to be 脸皮 as thick as the corner of a city wall, and happily lie down on the moral valley, the ground of the moral valley, and whatever. So before I go, hope everybody has a great New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Technically for everybody it would be tomorrow, like pretty much, yeah, first day of 2024. Hope you have a great 2024 first day, and think only about the good things, the positive things, okay? Because you have a whole year ahead of you, so just like it sets the vibration right, and do things you enjoy, have fun, laugh, go out and walk and taking some fresh air, hug a tree, whatever, just like make yourself feel good, okay? Because you have another year coming at you, and 2024, a lot of big things are bound to happen. So get ready. And take care. I'll see you in 2024.